Welcome back to the Daily Brief, your #1 source for news updates in Southeast Asia. First up, a motorcyclist gets run over by a passenger bus in Quezon City after skidding on Commonwealth Avenue. Next, a man is killed after being stabbed in the head by a co-worker he sheltered in Manila. In our last story, 5 million peso bounty is offered for the arrest of a Chinese woman linked to Anson Que kidnap-slay. Here is a look at today's local exchange rates for the Philippines and Thailand, followed by the weather. A motorcycle rider was seriously injured after being run over by a passenger bus along the eastbound lane of Commonwealth Avenue, near Central Avenue, late Monday night, April 28. The accident occurred shortly after 10 p.m., when the rider reportedly lost control and skidded in front of an oncoming bus. The incident was captured on video, showing the victim trapped underneath the bus following the collision. The 44-year-old bus driver, who chose to remain unnamed, gave his account to authorities. "I was driving along Commonwealth Avenue near Central when the motorcycle ahead of me suddenly slipped and fell. Since my bus was fully loaded, I hit the brakes immediately, but I wasn't able to stop in time. The rider slid under the bus, and unfortunately, one of his feet was run over." The driver emphasized that he had been maintaining a safe distance and was traveling at a moderate speed, but the heavy load of the bus contributed to the longer stopping distance, preventing him from avoiding the motorcyclist in time. Responding units quickly arrived at the scene and managed to extract the rider from underneath the bus. He was immediately transported to a nearby hospital for emergency treatment. As of this report, authorities have not disclosed the victim's identity or current condition, although initial reports indicate that he suffered injuries to his lower extremities, including a possible foot fracture. A bystander video of the aftermath shows the motorcycle rider still pinned beneath the bus as concerned citizens gathered around. The footage has been turned over to Quezon City Police District, QCPD, investigators as part of the official investigation. Authorities are currently reviewing CCTV footage in the area and taking formal statements from the bus driver and witnesses. As of now, no charges have been filed while the investigation continues. Commonwealth Avenue, often referred to as the Killer Highway, is notorious for frequent road accidents involving motorcycles, buses, and private vehicles. The wide stretch, combined with high-speed traffic and occasional poor lighting conditions, has made it a hotspot for serious vehicular incidents. Local officials are once again urging motorists, particularly motorcycle riders, to exercise extreme caution and always wear proper protective gear when traversing major highways. Stay tuned for updates as more details emerge about the rider's condition and the findings of the official investigation. Warning: this video contains graphic images. Viewer discretion is advised. A man was brutally killed after being stabbed in the head by a co-worker whom he had allowed to live in his home in Sampaloc, Manila. The suspect fled the scene and remains at large as of this report. The fatal incident occurred on Tuesday morning. The victim, referred to in the report as Rod, not his real name, was involved in campaign work with the suspect, including posting materials for a political candidate. The two had developed a working relationship, and Rod had even offered his colleague temporary shelter in his home. However, tensions reportedly escalated over the course of a month, especially after Rod allegedly tried to evict the suspect due to increasing concerns about his behavior. According to Rod's brother Mike, the suspect had been bringing questionable people into the house and was in possession of what Mike described as bateau, a slang term often referring to illegal drugs or paraphernalia. CCTV footage captured the chilling sequence of events outside Rod's home. In the video, Rod and his brother Mike can be seen sitting together when the suspect suddenly assaulted Rod with a blunt object and kicked him. Moments later, the suspect drew a knife and stabbed Rod multiple times in the body. The final, fatal blow was when the suspect plunged the knife into Rod's skull, causing him to collapse immediately. The footage also showed Mike fleeing the scene. Later that evening, Mike was arrested after causing a disturbance outside Barangay 447 and allegedly attempting to stab one of the barangay officials. He suddenly pulled out a knife and chased me. I had to run and grabbed a piece of wood to defend myself, said Barangay Kagawad Vicente Brutus. Thankfully, the police arrived and recovered 2 knives from him. Mike later explained that his actions were driven by fear and grief. He claimed to have received threatening text messages from the suspect, warning him and his family not to retaliate or they would also be harmed. Mike added that the altercation between his brother and the suspect stemmed from Rod's decision to evict the suspect from their home. This dispute likely triggered the violent outburst that led to Rod's death. The suspect remains on the run, and Manila police are conducting a manhunt to bring him into custody. Authorities have not released his full identity to the public, but confirmed that they are using the CCTV footage and testimonies to locate him. This incident adds to growing concerns over personal safety and trust issues in shared living arrangements, especially among co-workers or acquaintances with limited background checks. Police are advising the public to exercise caution when taking in individuals, even if they are colleagues, and to immediately report suspicious or threatening behavior. Situations involving personal disputes can quickly escalate into fatal violence if not addressed properly. If you have any information about the whereabouts of the suspect, contact your local authorities or Barangay 447 in Sampaloc, Manila. The Philippine National Police, PNP, has announced a 5 million Philippine peso reward for any information leading to the arrest of Wenli Gong, a Chinese national wanted in connection with the kidnapping and murder of businessman Anson Que and his driver Armani Pabillo. During a press briefing on Wednesday, PNP spokesperson Brig General Jean Fajardo confirmed that the bounty was donated by a concerned private citizen to expedite the suspect's capture. Wenli Gong, who is also known by multiple aliases such as Kelly Tan Lim, Bao Wenli, Ashin, and Huang Yenling, is now the subject of a nationwide manhunt. We have placed a 5 million peso reward for any information that will lead to the possible location and arrest of Kelly, said Fajardo. According to PNP investigators, Gong was the person who lured Kay to an apartment in Bulacan under false pretenses. There, Kay and his driver were abducted. Authorities believe Gong also acted as the primary contact for ransom negotiations with Kay's family. The ransom amount reached 200 million pesos, reportedly delivered in batches through casino junket operators. The ransom money was received by 5 different individuals before being converted into cryptocurrency. 2 of these individuals are currently under police custody. The police are now looking into the possible criminal liability of the casino operators and junket facilitators who handled the ransom transactions. The PNP has identified 5 suspects in the case. Arrested, David Tan Liao, Ricardo Austria, and Raymart Cataquista. At large, Jonan Lin and Wenli Gong, alias Kelly. 2 other Chinese nationals based in Boracay are also under investigation for their possible roles in the crime. The bodies of Anson Que and his driver were discovered on April 9th by the roadside in Rodriguez, Rizal, days after the abduction. In a stunning twist, one of the arrested suspects, David Tan Liao, claimed that Kay's 42-year-old son, Roncien Go, also known as Alvin Que, was the alleged mastermind behind the crime. According to Liao, Alvin ordered the kidnapping and execution of his own father and coordinated with the group during the ransom payout. The PNP anti-kidnapping group has since requested the Department of Justice, DOJ, to include Alvin in the preliminary investigation to determine the validity of Liao's accusations. However, the claim has stirred controversy. The Movement for Restoration of Peace and Order, MRPO, criticized the police for relying too heavily on Liao's extrajudicial confession. Why is the word of a notorious criminal the sole source of your evidence? The MRPO said in a statement. Where is the corroboration? Where is the physical or digital evidence that supports this claim? The group pointed out that Alvin and his wife voluntarily submitted their cell phones to the PNP, even against their legal counsel's advice, to assist in investigation. PNP officials acknowledged that no solid evidence currently links Alvin Que to the crime. Nonetheless, Brig General Fajardo explained that they cannot simply disregard the allegations. We cannot just turn a blind eye to these claims. That's why we are proceeding with a thorough preliminary investigation, allowing the family to present evidence to counter the accusations. Fajardo also mentioned the possibility that Liao may be lying, either to protect other culprits or to cover up his own role as the potential mastermind behind the crime. With Wenli Gong still at large, the PNP urges anyone with knowledge of her whereabouts to come forward. The public is reminded that Gong is considered armed and dangerous and should not be approached directly. Information can be reported anonymously to PNP hotlines or through coordination with local police stations. Thank you for watching the Daily Brief. If you like this video, please share, follow and subscribe so that you won't miss out on any future updates. Take care, and I will see you on the next news update.